Hello, everyone. My name is Jamel Bird. I am in the Computer Science Endorsement Program with Gwinnett County Public Schools, and I am presenting my key assessment today. My key assessment was to build a water consumption calculator based on your weight and how much you work out. Um, I decided to do this project because I wanted to know how much water I need to drink each and every day with or without working out during the day. Um, And I also started asking other people within the school how much water they are drinking a day and would a calculator help them. And they did say yes. I created a user survey that went out to my general staff in the building, and they were all agreeing to take the survey. So I was able to gather some data on that. Basically, the calculator is for those people who want to know the approximate amount of water intake that they should be drinking each day, the number of ounces based on their weight. And if they work out, they would give the number of minutes that they work out so that the calculator can adjust based off of your weight and the number of minutes that you work out, giving you the amount, the actual ounces of water that you should drink. I used um, designed this project using design thinking process and the engineering design process. So once again, I did some user surveys to gather data. I really used empathy when trying to understand the need for drinking more water each day to make you healthy and to have, be able to lose weight. I researched a lot of the information online. I've actually talked to a lot of folks through just general questions, and I had observed data. My program design, once again, was done through design thinking concepts and the engineering design process. I used Replit to code my calculator in Python. I also was able to get experience with using paired program in collaboration with my mentor. So we had a paired program session, which helped me out a whole lot. My data analysis was to gather user data using surveys, using questioning, um, providing empathy to understanding the need of the application. I did a lot of research on Google on water calculations, how to calculate the water intake, how to calculate in the number of minutes that a person would work out so that can adjust their water consumption. I gathered user feedback during my testing phase of the application, and a lot of folks were grateful for the application. They liked it, they loved it. It was straightforward. All they had to do was answer some questions, and they also got a printout of the results and the ounces of water that they needed to drink. However, they wanted to be more user friendly by maybe adding more graphics to it. So I thought about um, ways to improve my application would be able to use a graphical user interface with this application. The computational thinking part was very interesting to me. Um, the decomposing of understanding the problem was at first foreign, but not foreign to me. And then I just had to sit down and write everything out, as in what was I trying to create? What were people trying to look for? What my users and my stakeholders needed to get back from them. So I kind of started doing a lot more questioning and asking, what would you like for it to, what would you see from this design? So I went through my design thinking concepts and just learned a lot through the course on design thinking. And then I utilized my engineering design process methods. Um, I had to understand the water compensation. I had to understand how the calculations went of converting the water to ounces. And then I also had to understand the calculation of how to incorporate the minutes based off of the water consumption that you would have, because then it actually gives you the moisture of what we use when we're exercising. So I pretty much utilize the average based off of my research. My abstraction was to really ensure that my code was clear and readable. I utilized an array, a list, some conditional statements. Um, I had to create some variables. I had to pull in some functions from Python to help me do the calculation. So this helped me to go through the Python API and then pull in some functions and learn how to use functions, how to create conditional statements, how to utilize and create an array, and to create a list and provide that list back to the users through output. Um, the pattern recognition that my application has was recognizing the pattern of each and every day that the person would input some type of number for their minutes per day. So if they didn't have any minutes, they would put 0, and then it would do its calculation. If they had minutes per day, you would input the number of minutes and it would give you that information back. So it will return the information back to the user in a list format. The algorithms that I had to use was really getting the step-by-step instructions on how to utilize the program. From what I wanted my users to see, what I wanted them to enter, the data that the program was pulling in and giving back to the user. So I also made sure that that was in my code. Also commented throughout my code so that if another programmer wanted to go in and make some additional improvements or suggestions to the code, that they know how to do that and they know what my thinking process was. When I was debugging my code from the programming standpoint, was just going and doing my code and executing it. Each time I would put code in, I reviewed any errors that came back, and I really liked Replit because it would give you the general area where your error may have been. It helped me to go back and look at some of the programming concepts for Python. If I did need any help with my program, I could always refer to Python um, itself on the internet. I could also look at W3 schools, I could do Google research, and I can also reach out to my mentor who helped me a lot with my errors, any error that I couldn't alleviate on my own. I really enjoyed the paired programming session with my mentor on any code. It really helped me to get to that point of creating the program and finishing up. I think my mentor was very surprised at how far I had come with my program, and what help I did need. It wasn't a lot, but it gave me the experience of doing the pair programming with them. So we were able to collaborate and get my program to work the way that I wanted to. Some instructional impacts that I really took from it was just utilizing the design thinking and engineering design process concepts to develop a programming project. I also looked at a lot of the research-based information that was provided to us um, on best practices when teaching programming, such as utilizing the formative and summative assessments to make database decisions, utilizing the PRIM method, um, going through the debugging strategies. All of those were great resources and information that we have been getting throughout the course. So this helped, and it was a part of our project that we had to make sure we looked at those methods and figured how they will flow into our instruction. Just identifying data, just to help me problem solve and go through the problem solving process was also something that was very helpful. And these are things that I will utilize in my classroom in order to help the students understand how to program and code. Here is a snippet of part of my water calculator program that I've gotten from Replit. I also added a link here to the full program for you to see it run. And if I go ahead and click on that, I actually put it into a PDF here so they can actually see it. And I will actually go into my Replit program itself. And basically, I just pretty much answered the question and I used it as the question. So as you can see here, I ran it before and it asks the user, do they want to calculate how much water they need to drink? And they would say yes. And what is your weight in pounds? So they will put that in, and then it would ask, do they plan to work out this week? And then how many minutes They will work out for day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And it'll give them the calculation, and it gives them a thing coming back saying you are a champion. And that is my presentation.